Hey guys, welcome back to Brass Lab. Today we're talking about the Flux Raider for the P320 and how this one in particular is set up. The Flux Raider takes advantage of the Sig P320's modular FCU, which allows you to swap grip modules or place the FCU into a chassis system such as the Flux Raider itself. The reason you might put a Sig P320 FCU into the Flux Raider rather than keeping it in a pistol grip module is to allow you to have more points of contact, more control under rapid fire, and engage out to longer ranges. This could be helpful for home defense situations, car defense situations, and law enforcement. So on a standard pistol such as this P320 X10, you can only really get one point of contact with both your shooting hand and your support hand. This limits your ability to have accurate aimed fire at longer ranges. It also hampers your ability to mitigate recoil. Now, while a trained shooter can mitigate recoil fairly effectively, it's not going to be as effective as if you had a stock and a forward point of contact. Compare that to the Flux Raider, which gives you both a stock point of contact and a forward point of contact with the grip area that houses your secondary magazine. 3 points of contact is always going to mean more stability, more control, and the ability to take longer, accurate shots. So the Flux Raider itself gives you a lot of customization options to really build it out to your use case. A lot of people will build them out more so that you can put it on a holster. It's kind of like a personal defense weapon that's like a pistol plus. You know, it's not that much bigger than a standard P320. The way this one is set up currently is more to compete with dedicated PCCs. Now, what makes this more of a PCC as opposed to a personal defense weapon is the fact that it has a dedicated suppressor and also a rail extension, allowing you to mount the light forward to avoid both silence or shadow, as well as maintaining that high grip on the frame. If you mounted the light normally, it would limit you to gripping lower and having less leverage with your support hand. Now let's look at the Flux Raider in this configuration compared to a popular PCC such as the Scorpion Evo 3. Now, as you can see, lengthwise, they are basically identical in their fully extended configuration. Now, mind you, the Scorpion Evo has a 7.7 inch barrel with no suppressor on the end, while the Flux Raider has a 5.5 inch barrel with a can already attached. Now, in their collapsed configurations, the Scorpion Evo and this Flux Raider build are almost identical in length. The Flux Raider is just 1.5 inches longer. That's with a suppressor attached. It's also using the medium stock attachment. If it had the flush fit, smaller stock, it would pretty much be exactly the same length. Now, in a home defense context, the Flux Raider isn't just competing against PCCs, but also traditional SBRs, such as this CAC Ops build we have in 300 Blackout. Now, while this is so much longer than the Flux Raider, it actually only has 1.25 inches longer barrel. The Flux Raider has a 5.5 inch barrel, whereas the CAC Ops here has a 6.75 inch barrel. That's not a lot of difference, and in 300 Blackout, you're not ballistically that much superior to 9mm, but the Flux Raider is much less likely to penetrate through layers of drywall in a home defense context. Now, one of the other features that the Flux Raider gives you is it allows you to carry a spare magazine at all times and do a emergency reload. Now, the reason I love this feature so much is it makes it an ideal nightstand gun or a backpack gun in these situations of self-defense where, you know, the first magazine should be plenty, but it gives you that peace of mind that you have more ammo on tap at all times. Now let's go over to the tabletop so we can go over the configuration of this particular Flux Raider. Okay, so we're over on the tabletop now. Let's go over the accessories that we have on this Flux Raider. Now, kind of going opposite of Grand Thumb, we're going to go ass to mouth here, starting off with the stock here. Now, this is an SBR configuration, and we are using the medium stock. There's also a flush fitting stock and a longer stock for different lengths of pull. As far as the optic goes, we have a Holosun 515 GM mounted via a lower 1/3 co-witness Reptilia mount. We have it equipped with Sig P320 21 round magazines. You commonly see these with the M17. These magazines give us a nice compromise of stowability and capacity. Moving up the gun here, we have an F10 charging handle by Tactical Development. This gives you much better purchase for charging the gun than just using the front slide serrations. I think this is an essential upgrade on any Flux Raider setup. This is an especially useful charging handle because it maintains the gun as ambidextrous, whereas most other charging handles for the Flux Raider are for either left-handed or right-handed shooters. Moving forward here, we have the Blackhawk Mini Boss, which is essentially a reskinned Omega 9K manufactured by Silencer Co. on contract from Blackhawk because Blackhawk had anticipated the Hearing Protection Act passing and made big investments in their silencer division. When the bill did not pass, Blackhawk closed its silencer division and they were discontinued. Now, moving down below, we have the RX rail extension by TDI Arms. This allows you to move the light forward to avoid silencer shadow. The light itself is a Surefire X300 UB. This rail is actually a clone of a Russian Vityaz light mount, and it's a lot more sturdy than you would think. I thought because of all this leverage on the end that it might be wobbly, but it's very sturdy. I mean, it's not going anywhere. If anything, the rail extension won't fail before the Flux Raider polymer does. That's going to wrap it up for today, guys. Thanks for watching Brass Lab. Please drop us a like and subscribe.